You can be the destroyer of this world.
So let's talk about Black Adam. This is yet another DC movie that has been torn apart by critics on Rotten Tomatoes. And it's not like this hasn't happened before. But really, is the movie that bad? Well, let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Geekly Goods. If this is your first time, we talk all things geeky here. My name's Leo Rydell. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. And guys, let's talk about Black Adam. And is it really that bad? Starting off with the things that work, in my opinion, for Black Adam, I gotta start with the man himself, The Rock. Yes, Dwayne Johnson actually brings something different to this role that is very different than what he brings in every other movie. The same charismatic energy, very upbeat. We know about this personality from The Rock, and honestly, he does something completely different here. He brings an energy of blurring the lines between hero and villain and really wondering how the extent of one's powers can really affect who they are and how they are. I mean, I really love this more mysterious and darker side of The Rock. I think he does an excellent job here, and he has a lot of passion for the character that you can really tell. He really does feel like Black Adam from the comic books. So he does a really great job of being different. And speaking of The Rock, guys, we gotta talk about them action scenes. Holy moly, y'all. The action scenes are so well done, in my opinion. Now, are they well cut, well edited? That's an argument we can have another day, but they are fun, they're entertaining, there's a lot of them, and I mean a lot, that really happen almost back to back sometimes, and we get a little piece of story, back to an action scene, a little piece of story, back to an action scene, and guys, I'm an action fan extraordinaire, so hey, I was eating it up, okay? But like I said, it's very visually really well done too in that department. I think some of the battles, minus maybe the last 20-ish minutes, have some cool visuals, especially with who I want to talk about next, Dr. Fate, guys, and Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. I think those two, Pierce Brosnan and Aldous Hodge, do a great job. Aldous Hodge brings this great energy that he bounces off of The Rock with, this rivalry to the role, and I like the two of them on screen together. Seriously, there's a stare down in a trailer. Like, that kind of energy is really well done between the two of them. And then Pierce Brosnan just oozes charisma. Awesome as Dr. Fate, and Dr. Fate's visuals, wow, really well done visually with that character, and I think they just really capture his style of magic very well. And it's not as big as Doctor Strange, I would say, but it is very well placed in this film. It's really cool, very visually well done, and I do really like the score, especially I would say in the third act when that score just gets blaring. It gets you in the mood, it really does. They change the origins for Black Adam very well, and I just think that they really captured some great action. So The Rock, the action, Aldous Hodge and Pierce Brosnan, the score, those are my things that really work. Let's talk about the things that maybe don't quite work for this movie, and some reasons why I can understand why some did not really enjoy it. So let's start with the biggest glaring issue is the story. There's nothing particularly terrible about the story. It's not like the story is like, oh my gosh, this is awful, but it is nothing really new. It's nothing unique. Very superhero origin, very copy paste. It's things we've seen before. I understand why people would maybe not be that into it because it's just nothing new. It doesn't bring anything that new to the table besides some origins changes. So I get it, it's not as unique, and so it can really come across as boring and maybe a little drab, and sometimes can feel a little bit lifeless just because it's not as unique. But hey, I do like the action scenes. Let's talk a little bit about another character in the film. Wasn't huge on the child actor in the movie. I just wasn't that big on the kid. Maybe with a different actor, the kid could have been a better part of the film, but I don't think he serves a great purpose in this film, to be honest with you. I see where they were going to really capture the kiddish energy, but I don't know, it just didn't work with this kid. The kid who plays Freddy in Shazam, great. Jack Dylan Grazer, I had to look it up real quick, y'all, but he does a great job in Shazam, and I think I was looking for something a little bit more like that, and it's not what we got in this actor. No offense to him, but it just really didn't work for me, and there were some scenes technically involving him that looked a little odd. And then I do want to talk, but I won't spoil, I do really quick want to touch on a running theme in DC that happens, and that's just, you can't escape the movies without this giant CGI monster. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna spoil, but I don't think it's necessary every single movie, but they do it again here, and that's where the visual effects for me get a little weak. We have a very undercooked villain here, very undercooked. He doesn't really affect much in my opinion. I don't think he's even needed as a character. And speaking of characters who aren't needed, Adam Smasher, Noah Centineo, I believe that's the actor's name. I was not a huge fan of him as Adam Smasher. He felt like he was in a different movie, and he had a suit that looked like Deadpool, but he acted like Ant-Man, and it was just a combo that didn't quite work for me. Also, Cyclone, I think that actress has some chops. I do think she's got some potential. Unfortunately, it just was not used well here. The character of Cyclone just kind of feels like it's hanging around. So the Justice Society, 2 great members, 2 that just feel like maybe they didn't even need to be in the movie, really. So let's talk about Black Adam and the score. Is it quite as bad as they say on Rotten Tomatoes? I'm gonna go with the no. For me, I did not think it was that bad. I thought overall, Black Adam's not a terrible DCEU movie. It's not it's not Suicide Squad. See, look at this, y'all. This is what's wrong with some of the titles. It's not as bad as Joss Whedon's Justice League. It's just not that bad. I can't pin it down to that level, but I can't put it up to the greatness of Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. So if I had to give a rating to Black Adam, I'm going with a 7.5 out of 10. I think there's a lot of good to be had. It's a solid C+ fun movie. It's entertaining. It's got some great action scenes. The Rock brings some different energy, and I do like Aldous Hodge and Pierce Brosnan. But then the other half of the Justice Society is not that great. The story's nothing to write home about. And then, unfortunately, we run into the reoccurring problem of the big CGI battle. So honestly, not horrible, but not great. Guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, y'all know the drill. If you're not here on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for your boy. So we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods.